Screen echoes from the valley, telling the African story.
Spiritual Work College. This is Daddy.
That's Mountain.
My name is Mrs. Grace Utelahu Johnson. It has been a long story. My husband, Mr. Toyin Johnson of a blessed memory, was a very loving and hardworking husband. He was in the army. He was a very nice, loving, caring husband. A husband that every woman would like to have.
Death is an inevitable end to all mortals. To some, it comes expectedly by way of a protracted illness or old age, while to others, it happens suddenly and unexpectedly, like the flash of light.
2001, December, the sisters and brothers had invited him to London in December 27. The visa they gave him was 6 months. When he got there, they looked for work for him. But unfortunately, the visa expired in April 2002. So he was asked to come and renew his visa. The little money he brought that they gave to him, he used it to buy a pickup. He was using it to drive that. My wife, when I want to go back again, I will use this money, the money I'm gathering, plus this vehicle, I will sell it, and I will buy you this Mercedes, I think 190 by that time. Say we buy it for me, I'll be using it to go to my office. Unfortunately, on that 5th day, I came back. I met him sitting down on the chair. I greeted him, "Daddy, have you eaten?" He said, "No, he want to eat eba." So I went inside to the kitchen and I prepared eba for him. He ate. He went inside. He was sleeping. Me, I was praying. After the prayer, I went inside. He now told me that he ate amala in my 12. He said since he ate that amala, his stomach, he has not gained himself. He has not been himself. I got up, I prayed for him, give him anointing oil. He started sweating. After a while, he went outside and vomited. Before you say Jesus is Lord, he went again the second time, the third time. We started, it was night, very early in the morning. It's my first son. We have a doctor that used to treat us. He went to go and call him. So that one comes, Daddy, because you have gone to London, these few days you have stayed in Nigeria, mosquito have bite you. This mosquito, he will treat malaria. So he treated him that morning. He came back in the evening. That was on Sunday. By that Monday, his breathing has changed. He was strong, but you know, it's something we just hold him. It says like they are choking him a needle inside. He will be sweating, he will be crying, very huge stomach, he will be crying. All of us will be crying. So by Monday, we now rushed him. We took him. One of our neighbor carried us. We now went to Lagos State Specialist Hospital. They gave him oxygen, but he was still talking. They called me that they are calling me from hospital. For what? I'm just from the hospital now. They say they needed one drug, another drug. By the time I got there, I met my husband dead.
Both cases of death come with pains. However, unexpected deaths seem to come with greater pains.
I said, "No, Baba Junior, you can't die." "Where are you going? What about Junior? What about Tope? What of Benga? Where? Daddy." His eyes, I met his eyes, 2 eyes open. Immediately I enter, I close his eyes. I jack him, I hold him, all the hospital, the doctor, everybody there will say, Mommy, Mommy. I said, no, you will not die. You leave me for who? Me and who? So that is how my husband died. My husband left me.
Scream echoes from the valley, telling the African story.
When people's spouses die, they are thrown into widowhood, leaving a huge gap in the family circle that had hitherto been filled by the deceased.
Level 7. The rent is there. This boy is there. My daughter was there. This other small one, younger one was there. Before we went to the hospital, say, don't worry, I will not die. Even if I die, when I'm alive, what have I been to? What the help? That God that has been helping you, will help you to the end.
No, when daddy is around, no matter even daddy have money or not, the voice of a father in the home is it helps. Children will be afraid. Daddy is at home. So when daddy is no longer there, the children begin to behave anyhow. There's a stage that the mother will not be able to control the children, that the father needs to come in. At that stage, it's always very difficult.
Different ethnic groups have their unique ways of mourning their dead, some of which are distasteful and an aberration to fundamental human rights. Even though westernization has helped in eradicating some harmful practices, many African cultures still uphold them, thus exposing vulnerable widows to various psychological and physical trauma.
Some of the tradition we have in Nigeria is very bad. It's not a helping issue. Because some of them, they are put into pressure that they have to sleep with the dead body of the husband. They will lock them into maybe one room with the corpse, that they are the one that killed the husband. So some of them, they put them into much pressure. Some they will scrape their hair, they will narrow them to one cloth that they have to wait for maybe for 1 month, for 2 months. You know, the trauma itself. Sometimes, like last year, somebody lost the husband. They had to sell off everything that the man ever labored for, and they have 2 children, leaving the woman without anything. They throw her away, and we just have to see how we can be able to help her again.
The practice of certain widowhood rites has widespread effects and deeply ingrained social, psychological, economic, and health implications for women in Africa.
It was like a brother to me. Since I lost him, I have nobody, no confidence, nobody I can confide. I can say this and that too. That one, I know that part I don't think has missed in my life. Then coupled with the family, apart from that sister that want to help, that the enemy stop her. Nobody, apart from God, nobody.
The year 2000, I decided to, because I found out that widows were neglected. If they come into the midst of married women, they will just leave them. Some of them, they feel they want to come and snatch their husbands from them. Some of them, they feel they are the ones that killed their husband, they are witches. So people were afraid of them. And I looked at them, they were having, they were around. They don't have people that show them love. All what they needed is just love to encourage them to come up again.
Child marriage has been accounted as one of the reasons for early widowhood and promoters of harmful widowhood practices. In Nigeria, West Africa, an estimated 44% of girls are married before their 18th birthday, making it the 11th country with the highest rates of child marriage.
As a soldier in my place of birth, there's army barracks there. They saw me when I finished my primary. I was going to go to a teacher training. He said no. I didn't know. With my sister, I didn't know because they didn't tell me. He was discussing it with my sister. So he said he's going to then. My sister told me. I said no, me I don't want to marry now. Me I want to go to teacher training. No. So he now told my sister that he's going to train me And he doesn't want me to go to teacher training. He don't want his wife to be a teacher. I should go to secondary school. I finished around that, but I married him very early. Maybe around that, at the time I finished, there was no money that time. So I stayed like 2 years or so. I was around that 15, 16. But that time, school, you can, and now you can go to secondary school at that 15, 16. You go and start your class 1. So that is how he went to look for this school, say common entrance. I took the interview, everything I passed. In fact, I was lucky I was on scholarship for that period. When I finished, I would have gone to University Street, but the mother said no. He want to see his grandson. That is how I started having child. Then before I now did the part-time.
Though an ancient common practice but still prevalent in northern Nigeria, young girls are married to men old enough to be their fathers, and in the event of death, the young wives are shot into early widowhood, often leaving them with many children to cater for.
He died when I was 42. I'm 60 now.
These my children. The senior one, he gained admission in April, May 2002, 100 level. My daughter, the second born, she was in SS2. Then my last born just entered GSS1 in October.
I take loan from the bank. When you take loan in the bank, the interest, my first experience was that when I got that loan to pay rent and to pay my daughter's school fees, because they were asking me what I want to use it. I told them, they were like, you take loan to buy car, you take loan to buy land, you take loan to build house, you want to pay rent with loan and school fees. I said, well, in the office, nothing. I tell story, I told all my boss, everybody they know, but nobody cares. So it's that loan. And when your salary enter, I have to open my account with them. When your salary enter, as there is entering, they are deducting.
Screen echoes from the valley, telling the African story.
The lack of adequate education for the girl child, skills acquisition, and financial empowerment make up for another reason many young widows suffer and fall victims to unhealthy traditional practices.
It's good to educate our girls, because me, I was a girl before I became a woman, as a full-grown woman I am. If my parents did not train me, I don't think I would have, live up to this, find myself the way I am. Even my mother herself, if her father did not train her, because those days she used to say that they said training a woman is a waste of money, because before you know it, they will marry the woman and that is all. But training a woman is just like training a nation. For instance, there's a widow who the husband was very wealthy, had everything. In fact, they have fridge for turkey, they have fridge for goat meat, they have fridge for beef. All, the wealth that was so much that every fridge have his own beef. So when the man died suddenly, she didn't know what to do for herself. She was down for almost a year, and the children were down. All the wealth, all the riches, she didn't know how to manage it. Until after some years, when we met up with her, we had to tell her that she has to realize that this is true. At the bench she was, doing one thing or no matter how small it is, the situation would have not been that bad. We had to tell her to sell off some of the fish, so the remaining good ones we kept, and we asked her to start buying pure water, mineral, and start selling something. That was how she get herself.
There has been a growing number of widows in Africa facing socio-economic, psychological, and health-related issues which are yet to gain a place in their country's social policy. However, all these have lesser impacts on more mature widows who are educated, enlightened, and financially independent.
It is good for a man to allow the wife to work, because you will not only rely on your husband for everything you need in life, and also a time may come, both of you might not depart on the same day. One person will still be there, to manage the home. Your wife should be doing one thing or the other. Involve her. That doesn't have to do with education. There are some educated men and educated women. You see some of the professional women, their husband will not allow them to do anything. And you see, the boys were telling me that, I will not allow my wife to do anything because, other men can snatch my wife. As a small boy who is thinking he's not yet a fungo, say other men will snatch my wife, so I don't want my wife to do anything. And some, they say, my wife, if she has money, she will not respect. Small boys were giving me examples, so you can imagine.
In Africa, family relationship is important in death as it is in life. Some widows are made to suffer a number of ills at the death of their spouses for different reasons. In the instance of a mysterious death, some are accused of killing their partners.
Nobody wants to identify with us. Even my husband's best friend, the only friend that he has when he got to Abuja, told the wife that they should separate from me because I was the person that killed my husband.
Immediately when the husband sleeps and is certified that the man is dead, there will be the relations will come in, the brothers will come in, they begin to, they'll begin to talk to the woman, the way they will harass the woman, the way they will give me the car key, give me this, give me that. They have not even met on how when they are going to bury the man. Do you know that they even share up to the point of collecting the spoon and the plates? Some of them, they will drive them with only cloth that they wear and drive them away from the husband's house. And they forget that this woman also contributes into that building. Even if she didn't bring money, at least she carried water, she fetched water. She cooked for those ones that built the house. What about the children?
Africa is by nature patriarchic, and for this reason, widows face more social discrimination than their male counterparts. They suffer abuses from men who pose as helpers, and if they make attempts to remarry, they are often looked upon with disdain, thus leading to loneliness and further on depression.
There are some, people that they pretend to help them. It's not really help they want to render. They want to go to bed with them. And after that, they will just leave them alone. Some of them, they pretend, they want to get married, to remarry them. And at the end, they just want to use them. And then when they use them like that, they dump them. What really caused that is that if they don't have confidence in themselves, what they can be able to do, and also the fear of God is not there, so they tend to behave like that. But when the understanding really comes, that this thing, you can really do it. Some of the widows, maybe before they lost their husband, they were living in wealth. Daddy was always there providing for even to Maggie, Pepe, they don't even feel anything. So when the man dies, it's a difficult state in their life. Some of them are so discouraged that they even commit suicide. They die. We have some cases like that. They lost confidence in themselves and the society. They felt that life is useless.
The practice of polygamy is still commonplace in Africa, especially as some religions permit. This has been discovered to be one of the sources of widowhood travails in Africa.
One man will marry three wives and maybe have 4 concubines outside that have children. Definitely, with that man, he would die without you. There's going to be a lot of problems that will come in. Even the uncles will come in, the aunties will come in, the grandmother, everybody will come in. They want to share in that wealth. And so sometimes it's caused by men. As a man, you have to have a will. You don't wait until, that is the nature of African man. They feel that when you want to write will is when you want to die.
Screen echoes from the valley, telling the African story.
These existing harmful traditional widowhood practices across different ethnicities in Africa call for urgent attention from the government and traditional leaders.
How will you tell a widow to wash the cups of the husband and ask her to drink because you are suspecting her that she's the one that killed the husband? So, like all those kind of terrible tradition, they need to stop it. It's not healthy. Even the traditional leaders should even come and they should even instruct them on all those things. They should be aware, because they are the ones that control the masses, the root. They go into the root, the villages. They know they are always there. They are the head. So when it reaches them, it will also reach the family heads. So that it starts from the root. That these widows, if anything happens to a woman who at least who have children, they have given birth to children for their family, that woman has to be treated well, not maltreated.
Though yet unpopular, some kind-hearted individuals just like Christabel Silas Udo have taken up the challenge of recognizing and empowering this largely stigmatized group, giving them a sense of belonging and a hope for the future.
When I found out that somebody's husband is dead, I will carry my widows, will go, rally around her to make sure that life comes back. It's always a bad period in their life. So at that time, we will also pray with them. After the burial,
She gathered us, she has been with us, monitoring us. All those pains, all those crying, no food, no water. We call her, she's there for us. Now I've retired. The little money they gave to me, she's the one I still give to her. She came, used less than 1 month and put up this thing. You can see that where the money stopped, that is where we have been here. No light, nothing. But we still thank God she was able to manage the money to the extent that we can sleep under it without any landlord coming to say, knock at our door.
Every woman has a fundamental right to equal and fair treatment, irrespective of age, color, or status. It is therefore the duty of the government and society at large to ensure that her rights are adequately protected and infringers duly sanctioned.
Screen echoes from the valley, telling the African story.